see Mark Zuckerberg, how the hell, like, don't you sometimes meet tycoon billionaire people or even presidents or prime ministers and think, how come you? Like, so like Mark Zuckerberg, do you think it's just like a boy that found a lucky coin? Like, because it's not just enough to have, as the film famously explains, to have invented Facebook. It's like the subsequent activity. How does one person find themselves in such a powerful position where they can literally say no to a sovereign government?
So, with Mark, unfortunately, it was kind of insidious from the beginning. If you see a lot of the transcripts from his AOL Instant Messenger conversations with his friends at Harvard, he would say like, hey, I've got the data of thousands of students around campus. I know where everyone lives. I know it. I know, like, if they're in a relationship and with whom they just give me their data. Fucking idiots. You're like, whoa. Like, this was the intention from the beginning, which was to take as much data from people as possible to use it for his own benefit.
Oh, really? You think that from the get-go, you knew that like this is a data harvesting machine that's going to be very, very powerful, rather than, hey, everyone can hang out and be pals? It was never that.
No, I think he knew what he was doing from the very beginning, and has now turned into one of the world's largest data behemoths. But Facebook isn't just a data company; it's an influence company, and they have the ability to influence, I suppose up to 2 billion people, although probably half their members are bots.
Right. Well, you can really influence a bot. You can tell exactly what to do.
Yeah, exactly. If you feed enough data into the algorithms, then maybe they'll become positive instead of just trolling everybody for a living. But that's not how artificial intelligence works all the time.
Another thing I wanted to know about, and what is your perspective on, see in that program or film rather, like I can't remember, maybe it's called Citizen 4, the Edward Snowden documentary, there's a bit sort of when, I think there's footage or at least sound recordings of him when he's first dealing with the journalists like Glenn Greenwald or them lot, like that, and he's like, this phone, they can listen to you through this right now, get that out of my room. Like he's in this sort of mad state, like a wizard or something that sort of like can see different layers of reality. Like, do you identify with that, and what's your perspective on him generally?
Yeah, I mean, my perspective on him, as well as many other whistleblowers, is that they're heroes. I going through the process myself of what we call a crisis of conscience. It means that you have realized that you are in a situation where you are privy to some pretty bad things going on around you. And if you're privy to that information, it means you've been a part of it. So you have a very scary choice to make, which is, do I continue to stay here and keep my mouth shut? Or do I jump off a cliff without knowing if I have a parachute or if it works? Because that's what that is. And, people like Edward and Julian Assange and Chelsea Manning have all lost their liberty.
Wow.
Because of the choice that they made.
Yeah.
Me and Chris Wiley are two of the lucky ones. We still can move around. We have not been arrested. As far as I know, we haven't had, too many altercations with people physically coming after us. But it's not the same for most whistleblowers, actually. A lot of people lose their liberty. A lot of people are targeted for the rest of their life, can never get a job again, are physically attacked, have safety concerns for even members of their family and their friends and their business colleagues. So it's it's a pretty big decision to make. And, somehow we ended up having an issue that resonated with people. And we got so many people on board to this, wider campaign of how do we change things? How do we protect people's privacy? How do we protect people's data? How do we protect our elections? And everyone seemed to actually care, which, I think the last time people cared about data was when Edward came out. And they thought, okay, well, it's the NSA prison project, like be scared of our governments. But they didn't understand about the company's side, the corporate side of this, and that every single thing that you use every day, every move that you make, every purchase, every step that you take is being bought and sold and recorded and made into a multi-trillion-dollar industry to exploit as much value out of you as possible and not give much of anything in return. That's what didn't stick with people with Edward's words. They thought, oh, government, not, oh, the tools that I use in my daily life that are built by giant corporations that don't give a damn about me.
Stop buying stuff and denounce your government and set up your own autonomous collectives. These seem to be the first two things. Easy steps to make. There is no political party in America or the UK that are like, hey, Edward Snowden, that dude's a hero, man. So let's just get him out of Russia, come home, we'll give you a medal, chill. Like, whether it's the Democrats under Obama or the current Democrats or Trump, that guy, he's threatening our security. No one's pro Edward Snowden, right? And yet it's difficult to countenance your claim that he is a hero.
Yeah, well, there are very strict government agreements that he signed in order to take on a role of importance to national security. And I totally understand the importance of those agreements. But when you find out that laws are being violated, people's personal human rights, the human rights of people abroad, which was originally what drew me to WikiLeaks when they released the Iraq war files. I was a war crimes researcher at the time. So all of a sudden I'm being given primary source material about both, international laws, human rights laws that were broken very flagrantly. And, the people that are releasing this information are doing it for the public good. You can say the ways in which some of the information was released put some people at risk. And I totally understand that. And that they agreed to keep government secrets, totally understand that. But when the information you're releasing has a wider significance for the world, where people have the right to know the truth about, laws being broken against them, their rights being violated, I think that should supersede a lot of these other rules and regulations. Daniel Ellsberg, who's an incredible man who I had the opportunity to spend some time with, he now leads, a very happy life, even though he's had quite a hard time of it. But he released the Pentagon Papers that, created the Watergate scandal, or he didn't create it, but, his releasing of the documents allowed all of that to go down. And because he was weeding out government corruption, eventually, he's a national hero for sure. But somehow some of these other people are not getting the same sort of respect.
I suppose because it would have a meaningful impact on the ability of the powerful to continue to operate with impunity. And in a sense, it exemplifies that contract that exists between the governed and the governing. We will protect you, but in order for us to protect you, you have to grant us your freedom. And that's sort of like that the beginning of feudal systems, and sovereignty requires that relationship. We will protect you. We need your taxes. This is how it's going to go down. I feel like I read at some point that there was no sort of provable case of any fatalities or casualties as a result of WikiLeaks. I feel like I read that at some point.